What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Who You Got with
Melo.
and Rado. It's a sports podcast where we talk your favorite sports debates, sports highlights, and sports matchups. And if you guys are watching right now, make sure you guys click that like button and please subscribe to the channel. We love every single one of you guys, so thanks for following us along. If you guys are listening to the podcast, make sure you guys find us anywhere, wherever you get your podcasts. You guys can also check us out on our social media. We're everywhere: TikTok, Instagram. Definitely check us out. Facebook as well. And if you want our personal social media, I'm the iconic dude on Instagram, Melo.
Melo the Notorious.
That's right.
And you got to make sure you throw in, now you can find all that we just mentioned in one spot at www.whoyougotpodcast.com.
That's right. And everything and more is there. Plus the beautiful blogs that we've been writing that I think a lot of people have been loving. We give you a lot more on the insight on what we're talking about in the podcast before you guys take a listen to it. So definitely check those out as well. But this week, what are we talking about, Melo? We got a big week.
It's so crazy because we was just here a few weeks ago talking about the return of John Jones and UFC 285, and not even 2 weeks later, we are at UFC 286. Extremely wild that they had that set up so quick.
It's
And
crazy.
honestly, in like 3 weeks, we got 287.
Yep.
Well, Adesanya and Pereira. So this week coming up, we got UFC 286. I can be honest, not the greatest of cards,
Ooh, I don't
but
know.
the two main
That's what I
events.
was gonna say. That makes it great.
Let's say, yeah, the two main events. Welterweight main event is a championship against Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman after he dethroned him last year in the middle of the year, and then the other main event is a lightweight co-main with Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev. Pretty much. One is already a top contender in that division, and the other one's an up and comer, and it's definitely bound to be some fireworks.
That's for sure.
So like you said, those two fights alone definitely make the card. And then we're also here to, since it was pretty much last week, to give a little overview on how we thought John Jones did after such a long layover. What we expect from him now that he has beat Sirgan and is the heavyweight champion. How we think he's gonna do against Stipe, how long he's gonna stay, things like that. Just kind of our thoughts on how we think the rest of his career is gonna play out and how he did on his return.
Definitely a lot to unpack here today. I mean, the UFC's been killing it lately, especially the last few weeks. I mean,
Yep.
even the fight nights have been great, and honestly, like this one, maybe the preliminaries are not as great as like other cards, but like you said, like the top two fights in this card, UFC 286, are incredible, and just for us to be able to see Usman versus Edwards number 3 is going to be amazing, as well as like you said,
Hmm.
the up and comer Fiziev versus the big name, big ticket, Justin Gaethje. So those are going to be the amazing fights. Let's go through the fights. You want to go through Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev. Who you got for this fight?
So this, honestly, I want to say it was hard for me, truthfully,
Mm.
because I am a very big fan of Justin Gaethje, and right now, Raphael's looking 12-1. His only loss was his first fight in the UFC. Since then, he's been on a ridiculous streak, tearing through everybody, and everyone expecting him to be able to get a title shot soon. Um, and obviously, you know how Gaethje is, top five contender. And I've always said, you got the unranked, you got the top 10, and the top 10 is so much way better fighters than the unranked. But at the end of the day, the top five is still so much better than five, six through 10. And people just like some, especially in the lightweight division, like we've seen it. They all been fighting each other, losing to each other. Like it's just been a lot of back and forth.
This division
So
as
a lot
well.
of
You're right
people,
about that. Yeah, the welterweight has been like the top five guys have been fighting each other for the last like 3 years, pretty much. I mean, other than
yeah,
when Nurmagomedov left after
yeah. I
that.
would say once Khabib left, it really hasn't been a solid champion until we got Olivier. He actually held on to for a little bit, but now he lost that as well. So truthfully, a lot of people don't got a lot of hopes for Gaethje because he's kind of been on the losing end of a couple different fights to top contenders the last couple of years. But either way, this is gonna be a lot of fireworks, man. Both fighters throw a lot of strikes. It's gonna get to the point where I think this is definitely a fight that won't go to a decision. Someone's gonna get gassed out and someone's not gonna get hit.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what it looks like though, for
I
real. Both the
100%.
yeah. both of these guys hit real hard and they get to meet each other like crazy. So definitely.
And they both are unique with their views. They love their hands, and also both are actually good wrestlers.
Yep.
So it's definitely, um, for me, it was a pick'em fight. I know Raphael is a betting favorite by a lot. I think it's been a long time since Justin's been this low of an
Yeah.
underdog. But to me, I don't count him out. Like I said, the reason why he's been losing the last couple fights, is because he's losing against top-notch contenders. And for me, I
Hmm.
think Raphael has the potential to be that. But I want to have to see it first. Um,
Makes
Truthfully,
sense.
man, we're talking about former interim champion here, 19 knockouts in the or professional career, and obviously he got some bombs. I think if Gaethje can come out a little bit more aggressive, then he could actually put up a fight. Um, I don't know who I'm gonna give the benefit to on the ground, but I do think that both of these fighters are not going to try to go to the ground for the sake of pride. Just try to sit there and really box it out, strike it out, and just kind of really just use their biggest strengths to their advantage. So that's why I said it's gonna be a shootout. Um, but before I tell you who I actually picked, I want to hear your thoughts on it, see where you're leaning, and then we can kind of see. I already know who I definitely got, but I
Oh,
definitely want to see
nice.
where you're leaning.
Nice. So you got your pick locked in. So I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
able to change your mind if it's
yeah.
different than mine. But I'm just gonna give it to you. Like you definitely put it out there very well because uh, you broke it down with Justin Gaethje exactly who he is. I mean, he likes to stand up. He likes to knock people out. That's his style of fighting, and I agree that he's definitely gonna want to be on the ground more. I don't know if I agree that both of them are gonna want to stay on the. I'm sorry, like stay up most of the fight. I think they're gonna want to go to the ground. Maybe Justin not as much as Faziev. I think Faziev is gonna want to get some takedowns, and he's gonna want to tire Justin Gaethje out because I don't know if he wants to stay upright with him. Like you said,
Yeah.
Justin Gaethje's he's got knockout power. He's definitely got a great right hook as well. And the one thing with him though, the guys that he's gotten beaten by have been pretty prolific wrestlers and good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And Rafael Faziev is really good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and wrestling. He got beat by Oliveira, Justin Gaethje did, and he got beat by Nurmagomedov 3 years ago, which was a pretty big beatdown. I mean, it didn't look good for him. It wasn't good for his career. He definitely came back on channel after that. But I still think that this fight is gonna be a fight of two opposites. One guy is gonna want to keep it standing, and Justin, and then the other guy is gonna want to bring it down, and Rafael, and he's gonna want to keep his weight on top of Justin. He's gonna want to weigh him down, tire him out first round, and the second round. I do think that you're gonna get a lot more explosiveness for both of these guys, and they're gonna show their wrestling prowess. I really think so. I mean, like you said, one guy is known. We said this in the beginning. He's the big ticket, Justin Gaethje, and
Hmm?
like you said, he's one of your favorite fighters, and he's one of my favorite fighters too. But then here comes the up and comer who's been making a name for himself and beating some really tough competition going up the ranks. So this fight is gonna be incredible. I definitely see a lot of punches being thrown first round
Oh yeah.
until Faziev tries to bring it down, bring Justin Gaethje down on the ground, probably towards the end of the first round. Second round, that's where I see Faziev going down early, bringing him down, and they try to fight it out a little bit, fight for position. But the man, the legend, the myth is gonna be made that night. Rafael Faziev is gonna make a name for himself against one of the biggest names in the UFC. Even though Justin Gaethje is an incredible fighter, I think that the style of fighting that Rafael Faziev brings is so different for this fight. He's gonna be able to get some sort of chokehold on him, and he's gonna end the fight in the second round. I just see it that way. That's who I got. I got Rafael Faziev. Who you got though?
I mean, like I said, I think it's a pick me because even though he did do a little bad against Khabib and against Charles Oliveira, we're talking about two of the best at what they do.
For sure. For sure.
He saw himself as a complete NCAA Division One wrestler, and he definitely has some skills on the ground. Granted, he only got one submission in his career,
Yeah.
but he does know what he's
No, for
doing, and
sure.
I think he's gonna bring enough in there. Um, and he has enough chip on his shoulder to really put up a fight and not allow this to go the way everyone's thinking.
Mm.
And for that reason, that's why I got Justin Gaethje knocking Rafael out in the second round.
Wow. Wow,
This is gonna be a
man.
KO. They're gonna go out there gassed out, and I think it's gonna be a war. It might. I don't think it'll be third, but I definitely do think towards the end of the second round, Rafael is gonna walk right into a right. He's gonna get dropped, and
Hmm.
Justin's gonna hop right on top, and it's over.
Oof, man, man. See, like either way this fight goes, I'm actually gonna be excited just to watch it because I actually enjoy watching both of these guys fight. Even Rafael Fiziev,
Mhm.
he's very enjoyable to watch. Even though, I mean, he finishes a lot of guys in the first round. Surprisingly, like he does. So, we're gonna have to really watch Justin on the ground. I think that Fiziev is just a little bit better on the ground. He's gonna just be able to take over there. So that's the only reason why I really have Fiziev. I just think that he's showing you a new style of bear wrestling, literally the new Khabib style. Not as good as Khabib, definitely not, because Khabib, he was a lot more technical.
Because he didn't go. He didn't go to Dagestan,
Nah,
brother.
nah, he
You
didn't.
don't. You don't get that
Nah.
wrestling. Come to
Yeah,
Dagestan.
that's true. That's true 100%. But I mean, seeing the last few fights that he's had, watching him on the ground, he's prolific on the ground. He's a little more wild on the ground, but when he gets, when he actually gets the hold, it's very hard to get away from his holds. So that's the only reason I got Fiziev. But should be a great fight.
Nah, I definitely just think he's gonna have to stay a lot in Justin's reigns, and Justin's just Justin be throwing
Yeah,
bombs,
he
man.
does. He does.
And then one of them, or more than one of them, are bound to land. A few of them are gonna land, and one of them's gonna end up taking them out.
Yeah, yeah, you might be right. I mean, like you said, this is the biggest underdog in Justin Gaethje's career, probably since like his early fights. So it's a
Hmm.
big chip on his shoulder to try to win this fight.
Oh yeah.
And I think that we could say whoever wins this fight is fighting for the championship next, 100%.
We'll see because I think next week I actually think, or they already planned it
They
might be the one
they did
after.
plan it.
Uh,
That's right, but
we got that Olivier versus
Darush,
Darush.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, so
But
I
so maybe
think
one of
Darush, honestly, because
mm,
Oliveira needs a rematch, and Darush, truthfully, has been the one person that everyone's been avoiding. Like he hasn't been on that winning streak.
yeah,
So if anyone's due a shot, and I think that's why they made Darush fight Charles
yeah.
Oliveira. Maybe the winner of that fights the winner of this for a shot. But at the end
Mm,
of the day, who who is this I'm gonna fight?
that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
So
Yeah.
he's gonna, yeah, I think he's gonna fight the winner of that, and then the winner
Mm,
of this might get a rematch, or they might fight the loser of that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't think whoever wins this fight is a quite a championship matchup just yet, but this is one fight away.
gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, Rafael's been moving up the ranks very quickly.
That's what I'm saying. This his tune-up fight. Fight someone in the top five. See how you
Right.
are. After this, he will fight the number one contender
Justin's
if he
obviously been
wins.
up there though, and he had a chance. He had a shot against Olivier, so I don't know if they're
Right.
gonna give him another shot that quickly. I mean, maybe Justin they'll ask for another shot, but if Aziev beats Justin, I think that'll bring his name into the
Yeah, if he beats, then he fights the number one contender
yeah
next. And
probably
so more
number
than
one contender.
likely,
Yeah,
he fights Charles Oliveira, and
yeah, you're
then
probably right.
um.
I think you're right. He moves up to at least that number
Well,
3 spot,
huh,
and then he fights.
I'm. Let me not. I say he fight Charles Oliveira because
You think that
I want
Darush to
Darush
win?
to win. Yeah, I want him to get his shot.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, I think he fights the loser of this fight we're gonna see in the end. And I don't think it's on the next card. I don't think it's on Adesanya's card. I think it's on the next one because they booked up to May
I believe that's
basically.
just a fight night actually. The Oliviera one,
No,
isn't it?
it's just it's not a
Oh,
fight
okay,
night, but it's a co-main. Like it's not the main.
right.
I remember seeing it looking through the fight, so I don't think it's no, it's not Adesanya. Cause that's Burns.
Adesanya versus Pereira
And
too is yeah, and then
then
you got
Burns
Burns
versus
versus
Masvidal.
Masvidal, yeah.
Yeah, so that means in May. In May, Olivier and Dariush
Darush
is fighting.
Oliveira, and that's the Sterling versus Henry Cejudo, right?
That's what it is. Yep, thank you. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
May
Yep, that's the
6th,
card.
May
Yep,
6th. Yep, that's the one.
yep. So that's what
That's
it
gonna be a
is.
great
Yep.
card too. Yep, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yep.
Yeah. So you might be right. You might be right. It's not like this is not a championship. Whoever wins this is not
Uh,
gonna get a championship matchup. You're right. But
they get the number contender.
yeah, That's true.
which would technically at that point be the loser of because it just falls because at this point whoever wins the May fight is gonna be set up for a championship fight, so that leaves space towards the end of this year for the loser of that fight to fight the winner of this fight.
Mhm.
So that leaves up for Islam's first fight in 2023 if he contains his belt. Damn, I'm just throwing out so much bias right now.
I can see who you want to win, but
I, hey, but that's just how I
right, right,
do.
right.
Initial thoughts. Wait, when we get closer,
Mhm.
I'll really look into
You
it.
could always
At the end of
change,
the day,
right? It's fluid.
we already see how Islam is working.
Yeah, I still got Islam though too.
That's what I'm saying. We already see how
I know,
Islam's
right?
working.
I got him too.
That
Either
boy
way.
looking nice out
Right,
there.
right, right. At least for a while, he didn't take punishment either, so he's fresh. He's fresh.
Yeah,
So
that's
waiting,
what I'm
it's
saying.
fresh
That's
and
I think
waiting.
he got one more fight this year, and right off the bat, early,
Early next year,
2024. Yeah, huh?
definitely, definitely. Yeah, I would love to see a Faziev and Islam fight, though. I'm not gonna lie, that would be
Yeah.
incredible. That would be incredible. But either way, like I said, both of these fighters, Justin Gaethje and Faziev, very exciting to watch, very exciting. But another exciting matchup with two crazy, amazing fighters that honestly, this is the matchup that we've been waiting for because you know Edwards versus Usman 3 is gonna go down as one of the best trilogies. I think once it's finished, I really believe so.
It
It
has
has to. Both of these
the
guys,
storyline alone.
exactly. Both of these guys have won once. It's been for a championship. Like the way that they won. If I can just go through this one first, watching just the previous fight, just Edwards versus Usman 2 was incredible to watch. Usman was pretty much winning that whole fight. Pretty much that
Yeah.
whole fight was all Usman, taking care of business, going into the fifth round, late into the fifth round. Man, he got hit once and it seemed like it buzzed him. Then later into the fifth round, he got hit with that combo and it was done. He was done, laid flat on his face. Man, one of the craziest knockouts I've seen, and definitely one of the craziest like comebacks in UFC that we've seen. I think for that Edwards versus Usman 2 fight. But I mean, what do you think about Edwards versus Usman 3? I can't even talk because it was so exciting.
Honestly, man, like I don't. You gotta bring it back.
Yeah, for the first
You
one
gotta bring
too.
it
Yeah, that's
this
true.
one
That's true. That's
because
true.
you gotta realize that was Kamaru Usman's first start of his dominance.
That's true.
Leon Edwards first coming into his own. Um, Edwards lost unanimous decision. It wasn't even close. But after that,
It was early in Edwards' career, but
we watched neither fighter
yeah,
lose.
exactly. I was gonna say that too. Yeah.
Edwards went on an undefeated streak, staying quiet, allowing everyone to call him boring, allowing everyone to call him like not like he's just too
Yeah.
technical. Everything, the whole Jorge Masvidal, a two piece in a soda, like he allowed everyone to talk his talk, and he stood there with his head down and worked his way up that ladder one by one by one. 7 years.
Yeah.
The whole time Usman is being dominant, get his title, run through everyone in the top 10, top six of that division. This point, he's starting to run through them twice, and now here comes Edwards coming back for his revenge. Like you said, 24 minutes out of 25, Usman was dominating. It wasn't even
No.
close. And now, I never forget the chills because Edwards' corner was just tight the whole fight
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, there
he
was. He
just
wasn't doing
it is
anything.
obviously that's what I'm saying. It's not like he wasn't trying.
No, he wasn't really
He really
landing. Like
was not doing
not
nothing.
doing punishment. Not
And you could tell it was getting him. And it finally got to the fifth round, and everyone in the world, and honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, everyone in the world, including Leon Edwards, seemed like they went into that fifth round knowing what that outcome was gonna be.
not just that. The corner of Leon Edwards. I don't know if you remember what they said to
They
him.
were the only one.
But no, they even said to him, they were like, "You need a knockout. You need a
That's what they
knockout."
were the only one that
But
like because he was so down. That's why they yelled at him. It was like, if you don't go out there and get a knockout, this is
Yeah.
over. And then they were like, even through the fifth round, like you said, the first couple minutes, he didn't even look that fresh. He still was kind of out there. Like it still looked like Usman was about to cruise to a decision, but his corner was yelling. His corner was yelling, and pretty much like you said, he threw that right head kick or that left head
Yeah.
kick, and Usman even said it in his interview, man. He's joking, he's jiving. You know, Bob right,
Wow,
Bob
wow.
left. I wake up in the ambulance. Crazy.
That was wild.
I'll never forget
It
the
was wild.
chills, like the screams. I was just going out, like I was just going off. And then for the man to come back and grab that mic and say
Pound
pound
for
for
pound.
pound, headshot
Dad.
dead. Then calling his mama, I did it. Like you all got like to me, bro. Like that was one of the best sports moments. Like that's
Of
what
the
makes the
year.
fight game so
Mm-hmm.
crazy. 24 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
not a chance in hell.
Yeah.
One kick land, it's all over. We got a new champion, and that's why like that whole. There's no way you're not getting the trilogy. Because the first fight we knew what it was, but we watched Leon work his way up.
Right.
Second fight didn't look too great for Leon, but he pulled off a miracle. At this point, you got to give it a third fight, and like you said, we've been waiting a long time for it.
Yes, we have, man. Yes, we have a whole
I'm
year.
a,
A whole year almost. It's crazy.
yeah, pretty much, yep. And I'm gonna tell you why I've been waiting. I've been waiting for that get back.
Mm.
I'm gonna lay out a nice little story and try to make you guys figure out where I'm going. We here for that comeback. My boy, like I said, I said a few weeks ago with John Jones, like he's about to come through and drag.
Yep.
My man's about to come through and drag. Yo, Usman, like he knows he let that happen.
Hmm.
He was out there smiling in that fifth round. I even said it even with the whole Masvidal and the two Kobe fights. My man won his title off of his wrestling pedigree and then decided he wanted to be a boxer.
That's
And
true though. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. He likes to
the amount of
move back
he
defense.
don't
You
want
don't want us to go
to
down at
for him
all.
it's his legacy. It's he wants to be that complete fighter. Not to mention, once you got a coach like Whitman like in
Mm.
your corner, like he,
One
he he's
one of
he's
the
he's
best.
he's a good striking coach. So he's really improved on his striking game, and he showed it. He's knocked out Masvidal, put a clink on
Kobe.
Kobe twice. Like he showed it. But all of those times that he's decided to now use his boxing, he has more than once called left himself open. The amount of times I've watched fights in the last 3 years, and I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing? Stop putting your head down. Stop, like he's getting rocked. You know what I'm saying? Like it,
Yeah.
he's allowing these fighters to actually stay in the
Yeah.
fight. Unfortunately, it lost him his belt.
Did.
I don't think he makes that same mistake again
Mm.
at all.
Man, I honestly, you might be right about this, man. You might be right, but you know what? I'm not gonna count Leon out at all, because the
Nope.
reason why Usman really lost, and we got to put this out there, is definitely a little bit of a reach advantage. And Usman, that's a reason why even against the Kobe fight, it was a little bit of a reach advantage, and Kobe was able to like reach in there and hit him a few times, especially because he leaves himself open like that, and definitely because Usman he's a big shoulder guy, but his reach isn't as long as other guys. Like Leon could definitely get some shots on him. That's why I think that this fight is gonna have to go on the ground for Usman to really be able to dominate. If he wants to dominate in this fight, that's what he's gonna have to do. He's gonna have to take it to the ground and take over. Honestly, take over and push my man Leon towards the cage right there. Just get him right towards the cage and stop him. Get all that weight on him. Get that shoulder power on him and just keep him there for rounds on rounds. Because the one thing about Leon Edwards, he loves playing that boxing game too. He loves to go forward, go back, go forward, go back. You know.
He's the most technical striker
Yeah,
in the
I agree with
UFC.
that. I agree with that. Definitely, as a striker, he's definitely the most technical, and you know he's the most kind of like that you would see a welterweight boxer fight. You know, just moves in, moves back, moves in, moves back. Not like a heavyweight fighter where they're just like right in your face, but he likes to pick his spots. You know, he'll go in for you, go back. You know, do a couple combos, then go back. And I do think that he is gonna hit Usman a couple times. I do think that Usman's gonna get clinked a few times, and there's gonna be a few times in this fight where you're thinking like, wait a minute, is Leon gonna do it? Is Leon gonna do it? But no, he's not. And I agree with you, man. I think that this is a comeback for Usman. I totally agree with exactly the storyline that you said, that you stated forward. This has to be the comeback for Usman to get his belt back. He has that chip on his shoulder now. He knows that he shouldn't have let off the gas in that 5th round, and he kind of did. And he just wants to.
No, he did so bad. 5 out of 12 takedowns, and he had a control for over 10
Yep.
minutes.
Yeah, he had him, but
That fifth, he decided to.
yeah, he decided to
You
like
know.
do his little that's let
You
off the gas literally in the last 2 minutes of the fight. Like that's when you don't want to do that. That's when you want to try to knock the other guy out, because that's what he's trying to do, especially because he knows he's losing. The other guy, that's the only way for him to win is knock you out. So you better be trying to do the same at least, or at least playing really good defense. But he wasn't, and I do think that in this fight he learned his lesson. He's gonna try to stay back a little bit and try to go for those takedowns, and that's what's gonna happen. And I think we're gonna see 2 incredible submissions. Or you know what? I'm sorry, I'm not gonna. Nah, I am. I'm calling it a submission because Leon Edwards is really good as a wrestler. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a submission, and Usman doesn't submit many guys. He only has, I believe, like 3 in his whole career, or 1 in his whole career. I don't know what it is, but he doesn't have that many in his career. I think that this is going to be one of those times where he really tries to use his wrestling, and you're going to see 2 submissions in one night, and especially in this championship matchup is going to be one of those that's surprising, because Usman's going to want to show you something different. I think he doesn't have that many in his career. I know that, but this is going to be one of them. So I got a submission, and this is going to be in the 4th round. Submission in the 4th by Usman.
So the crazy thing, and it's so crazy. Like, I don't even know how many people, like, a lot of people really don't pay attention about this history, but like people like to forget how fucked up his knees are. Like, Usman has some really, really bad knees. Mm-hmm. So submission actually don't sound bad. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with decision though.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with decision.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, it's gonna be hard, but I would love a ground and pound, but that's gonna be hard.
I mean,
that's gonna be.
I could definitely see another 25 minutes of these guys fighting that out for a battle, because that's what they pretty much have been doing. The other one was 24 minutes. The first one was 25, right? Was it?
I think it was 15.
Okay, was it a 50? Yeah, but still, they went to decision, so it was 3 full rounds. So these guys, they know how to fight it out to the end. But I don't know. I have a feeling about Usman that he's gonna want to show something different, especially because he hasn't fought in a year. And this whole year, we kind of knew that this fight was gonna happen. We both knew once Edwards won the last fight, we knew that this was gonna happen. So I think that Usman kind of knew it as well, and I think he wants to learn something different, and wants to beat Leon another way, not just standing up.
No, I definitely agree. But either way, I definitely think pound for pound comes back. Granted, he's not getting that top spot back on that board, because at this point, ain't nobody getting that top spot back on that board until the man who just returned a couple weeks ago decides that he's done for good.
And that man's name is John
Boom
Jones. The man is back.
Yeah. That was crazy.
What an incredible UFC 285 from John Jones.
Yes, granted, I was low. You probably enjoyed it more than me, because Valentina lost, and you picked Alexa to win.
That was a great one.
I was a little upset about that.
I told you, Alexa Grasso, man. You guys gotta definitely read up on her. She's gonna be a champion for a few years now. I definitely think so.
No, she
watch. I'm telling you,
Valentina's coming back. I refuse to believe it. But that's not even that's not what we here to talk about. Man, we just got initial thoughts, man. First, before we talk about the future, let's talk about what we saw, man. What did you think? What did you think about Jones, man?
Honestly, I thought he was amazing, man. I didn't see nothing that I didn't like. I thought he was gonna come out and ball out. Really, I definitely thought the fight was gonna be a little bit longer. I had him winning in the second round in a knockout as well. I know he won in a submission early in the first, but just the way that he looked, he didn't get hit at all. Like he stayed. His defensive stance was very good, and he was very fast on his feet. He was able to get a a takedown by tripping Gain, like I definitely thought he was going to be able to do. And his weight didn't seem to be an issue to me. I thought he fought very well, and he looked very exciting too. I just didn't get to see enough yet for me to give a full a full breakdown of him as a heavyweight fighter. To be honest, I still need to see a little bit more to break him down as far as the top heavyweights that we've ever seen. Now, I mean, him as just a fighter in the UFC, yeah, he's the greatest we've ever seen in the UFC. But that's overall in his career. But I'm talking about just as a heavyweight fighter, I haven't seen enough. But I cannot wait for that Stipe fight for sure. But what about you though? What did you see from just this earlier fight from Jones?
So I agree on most of the things you said. So yes, he looked absolutely amazing. Um, just goes to show, like I said, he was gonna drag him.
Yep.
He didn't need to drag him that far. It looked like, but he dragged him nonetheless. Just goes to show, no heavyweight can come close to his wrestling pedigree. No heavyweight is gonna come close to his grappling. No heavyweight is gonna come close to his submission skills.
100%.
But that does not mean he looked perfect. He even admitted he felt sluggish. He felt awkward. I believe a reason why he went for not just because I know he was going to, but the reason he got his hands on Gain as quick as possible, not because of fear, but because that's where he knew he would be most comfortable. And so I do believe he's not gonna be as fast as we want him to be, but he doesn't need to at all.
Now when he's got that ground game for sure, you're right.
Yeah, he is going to use that ground game to get out of any trouble because at the end of the day, I can't imagine him against Derek Lewis. He know damn well he's not standing up with him and not trying to go toe to toe with no Derek Lewis. So there's gonna be some heavyweight. So he knows he can't really go in there. So he's gonna use that ground game.
But I think he knew that with Gane too. I think that was.
And he knew that. He did. And
think
that's
that was
the thing,
definitely
and I don't even think he I kept watching that fight so much in the last couple weeks. It wasn't even like he decided I need to get my hands on him ASAP. Gain just stepped so forward with that punch. Next thing John know, Gain's fist is already behind him. His shoulder and back lines right here. That it was no question. So that was Gain's fault. He did not even he didn't do enough of a good enough job to keep John off him because as soon as I seen that punch, he did most of the work for John. And I don't know if maybe he timed it right. But for me, it looked like because Gain's big. It looked like Gain just really
he was trying to use his whole body into it. His whole body.
He threw it very quick because he also likes to switch stances.
Yeah, he does.
So he was using that to put his left foot forward as well, but he stepped way too far into John Jones' comfort range, and that's why you got to I don't think he was there stuck, surprised. I don't know what happened because he threw a punch, and next thing you know, John's riding his fucking ass. He's next to the cage. Now he's fucking on top of his ass with his fucking neck. He really had no idea what the fuck just happened. And so yeah, John Jones 100% was a problem. Looked amazing. I'm not gonna say he had any issues. I think I may have expected a little too much.
Me too.
On what I thought he was gonna look like. He is 250 pounds. He did look like a prolific 250 pounder. I think we still thought he was gonna go in there and look like a 220, the way he moved. But no, he didn't. Wrestling wise, that 250 is dangerous.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
That 250 against some heavyweights is absolutely dangerous, and it's crazy.
That wrestling, you put your body on top of somebody else.
Oh, it's over, and he knows how to cut off your grabs, cut off your legs, so you can't get up and get your weight on certain parts of your body to get him off you. He knows how to tire you out, like you said, put all that weight. Get his head into you, elbows into you, shoulders into you. I don't like to say the word dirty, but John Jones walks that line so close. I'm not even gonna lie. As much of a goat he is,
he knows the rules. He knows the rules, though. He knows very well.
Yeah,
a little too well.
So he's definitely gonna go out there and really outsmart a lot of these
Right, right.
heavyweights. Um, but at the end of the day, if there is someone who's the biggest threat to his legacy in the heavyweight division, it is the UFC's current greatest heavyweight of all time, which is Stipe Miocic. We're talking about two-time champion, most decorated heavyweight in the UFC. Um, I'll be honest, I am very upset and disappointed we never got to see this in its prime
That would have
because
been
a
incredible.
215 John Jones could have fought
That's
a
what I was gonna say.
225 Stipe Miocic, and that would have been an amazing fight. But right now,
That would have
I
been
don't
one of
know
the
what to
greatest
expect.
fights ever
Yes, bro, like
in their
that would have
prime.
been amazing.
But
But right now, I don't know what to expect. What do you expect?
honestly, I'm still excited about this fight,
Oh,
even though it would have been way more exciting if they were both in their primes. Definitely way more exciting, especially if they both weren't, at this weight. I like seeing John Jones fight at 220 more, but like I said, I haven't seen enough from him, especially enough from him. I mean, he threw some strikes against Cyril Gane, but I'd like to see, a little bit more movement around the ring. That's what I want to see. They were moving up and down, forward and back a little bit, but I want to see some more like side to side movement. I want to see him go around the ring a little bit more, use the space. I haven't seen him do any of that. It was a quick fight with Cyril Gane. So like I said, I can't judge him 100% as a heavyweight, but this fight would be the perfect fight for me to judge him as a heavyweight. I think the Stipe Miocic, like you said, he's probably the greatest that we've seen. I mean, to me, I think Francis Ngannou was moving in that direction if the UFC would have gave him a contract. I think he probably would have been moving in that direction, but
resume wasn't there yet.
no, not at all. But
He
as
he
far
at the
as
end of the day, like before Jones came back, you would have said Francis is the best, and as long as he win a couple more fights, he's gonna.
that's what I mean. He was moving in that direction into Miocic, that type of guy. Because we still think of Miocic as the best heavyweight that we've seen,
Yeah.
yeah, at the UFC. But now that Jones is there, now we're really gonna have to see who's the king of the heavyweights. Now this is gonna be the fight. Literally, the king of the heavyweights is gonna come out on top in this one, and it's gonna be an exciting fight. It's really gonna be an incredible one to watch. I think we're gonna see John Jones definitely utilize his wrestling a lot more in this fight. He's not gonna want to stay up with Miocic.
I don't even. I'm I'm just gonna throw a quick early prediction. I think it's gonna be a fantastic fight, but like we're not gonna see John allow Stipe to get going on the feet, like you said,
Yeah,
and that's what I want. I want to
me
see
too.
what John has to offer going toe to toe with the heavyweights, but I don't think we see that again. Granted, John do got another, 4 or 5 months probably to work another camp. But at the end of the day, my man, you supposed to been working for almost 2 years now.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, I thought this would have been the best we could have seen you. You know what I'm saying? So
Maybe we could see more. Maybe
what are
we
you
could see
what
more.
you saying? Like, what is he gonna get a little skinnier? Is he
maybe
so
maybe more
granted,
cut. Maybe
it
more
is a
cut. I don't
cobweb.
know.
It is the cobwebs too. Just stepping into the ring with the actual legit contender, not to mention for the heavyweight champion. So he might be able to brush a lot of that off. But yeah, no, I want to see him go toe to toe. And unfortunately, I don't think he's gonna do that with Stipe. He knows better.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the smart thing to do for him. I think that's what he should do,
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah.
But if you remember, like one thing that we used to love about Tai Tuivasa is that he was a great wrestler. He was great on the ground as a heavyweight until he got beat by Cyril Gane. We definitely thought that Tai was one of the best wrestlers in that heavyweight division, and that's one thing that we were excited about. We never really saw heavyweights as wrestlers. They were always punchers, knockout artists. But now that we got Jones in there, I think that you're gonna see a new era where you're gonna see a lot more wrestling in the heavyweight division. And Francis was starting to do that a little bit. I mean, you saw him doing that against Cyril Gane as well. He started to a little bit, and
That wasn't wrestling. That was a big dude throwing another big dude. And the only thing is that one big dude didn't know how to stop him because he had no defense.
right. But then again,
Cyril Gane has no wrestling
Cyril
defense.
Gane, you thought would be a good wrestler as well, but he just hasn't shown it really lately.
He fooled us.
Yeah, he's been fooling us.
He had good stay away defense, and he had good jiu-jitsu, good submission. But like,
I think his
well,
takedown defense is good, very good, but
it's
not against
not.
Jones. Not against Jones, it wasn't because that
Not
was
even
from the
that.
back.
He got exposed when he got exposed. by freaking Nagano. That was the only hope he had of beating Nagano, and Nagano was tossing his ass around because he couldn't keep like he didn't know how to keep his leverage off. He didn't know how to leverage his own weight to stop the thrust. Like he really went out there and like showed us that he had nothing. And that's why John Jones was. He already knew what the game plan was.
Yeah,
Um,
but that's what I mean. I think that now that you got a heavyweight that's one of the most prolific wrestlers that the UFC has to offer, I think. And John Jones, Stipe's got something for him. He's got something that he better start preparing. I saw him when John Jones won and he called out Stipe. Stipe was just sitting there like, man, I gotta start preparing for this fight here. I gotta start getting in the gym because this is gonna be an epic one too. I think this is gonna be one for the ages.
it definitely will.
But that's probably going to be happening a while from now. Maybe not, because they were talking about it. International Fight Weekend. It's happening June 3rd, I believe, or July 3rd. One of those weekends. It's either June 3rd or July 3rd. And they were talking about it possibly that weekend for International Fight Week. So that could be definitely something we're going to be talking about in the next few months.
100%. It'll definitely be a good card. I know that they're gonna give if it's John Jones, they're gonna give him a good card too. And this one was a good card. We got to see Bone Nickel. That was a good one. Obviously, Alexa dethroned Valentina. It was definitely a good card. I forgot
Valentina,
who
why
the
don't you
other
go say
who the
Grasso?
other
What do you mean
card was.
Valentina? Nah.
Huh?
You said Valentina, didn't say
Um,
Grasso, though. Nah, but
oh wait, oh,
that
uh,
yeah.
Rachmanov beat Jeff Neal.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
Rock.
yep, that was 3 submissions in the top 3 fights, 4 submissions in the top 5 fights, bro.
Yeah.
Because the only one that wasn't submission was Gamrot versus Turner, and Gamrot won by decision. That was a great main card.
Great card. And
Yeah,
yeah, definitely exciting card. Just like this one is gonna be, and this one might be more submissions too in UFC 286. But guys, let us know who you guys is gonna win both of these fights in UFC 286. We just went over the top 2 fights. The first one we went over was Justin Gaethje versus
main event.
Rafael Fiziev, and then of course you got the main event, which is gonna be Usman versus Edwards 3, the epic trilogy that we've been waiting to see. And also, guys, comment what you think is gonna happen next with Jones, and also that talk about Stipe. You know, who you guys think the early preliminary winner of that one would be. We definitely want to hear your guys' input. And if you guys also want to give us some topics, some future UFC topics, or got some questions about the UFC, you guys can go check us out on Patreon. That's where you guys could, write down some questions for us that we can put out on the podcast. If you got some topics that you guys want us to share, we can definitely put it out there. And we have some great tiers for you guys there. We have some merch available and also some other podcasts that are not available on YouTube. But if you guys want to check out our social media, that's where you guys can find us as well. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Just type in Who You Got Podcast, you'll find us, as well as anywhere you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, and all the above. As well as you guys can check out our new website, right, Melo? Tell them about that.
You're about to say, if all else fails, just go to www.whoyougotpodcast.com, and we have links for all the spots we got the podcast. You can listen to the podcast right there, watch our videos right there. You can read the blog right there. You could buy merch right there. You can subscribe to Patreon right there. And just because I just thought about it, I'm gonna actually add a section with our personal pages right there, so you can even find us right there.
Love it, definitely. So we got everything in one place for you guys right there. But like I said, if you can't find it, then just find us everywhere else in the metaverse, pretty much. But we'll definitely see you guys next time we do another UFC episode, and we got a few more exciting episodes coming up in the next few weeks for you guys. So definitely keep up with us, Who You Got Podcast, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of Who You Got with
Melo
and Rado. Peace, y'all.
Peace.